Hi and welcome to Oriental Bittersweet Lookalikes. My name is Dawn Littleton. I'm the Invasive Plants Program Coordinator for the University of Minnesota Extension offices in Rochester, Minnesota. We're going to be talking about Oriental Bittersweet because it is highly invasive. And in Minnesota it is present but not yet established, and there is the good possibility for eradication if the remaining plants can be identified, located, and controlled. The objectives of an audience, this presentation is to enable you, whether you're a landowner or a volunteer or a native plant hobbyist, to distinguish Oriental Bittersweet from similar looking plants and to report observations for species verification and control. So at the end, when you see an Oriental Bittersweet or suspicious looking American Bittersweet, please send us photographs of the leaf axils, berries, and whole plants, and the us refers to slide 14, so you'll get more information on that slide. The lookalikes for Oriental Bittersweet in Minnesota include the American Bittersweet. This is a native vine. It's a good vine to have in a natural environment, and it is the one that's most confused with Oriental Bittersweet, and it's most challenging. The other vines are woodbine and Virginia creeper, riverbank grape, and bittersweet nightshade. The bittersweet leaves, when mature on both species, both the American bittersweet and Oriental bittersweet, they're woody vines with single, highly variable leaves. The leaves on both species may be oblong, round, or slender. Both species have the pattern of a small teeth on their leaf edges and a single long or short terminal tip. These leaves are so variable and yet so similar that they do not distinguish American bittersweet from Oriental bittersweet, and that's why at the very top of this slide is the number 0 bittersweet leaves, because they don't help you distinguish between the two species. So what does help distinguish between these two species? First of all is excessive growth. If you've seen mature Oriental bittersweet, it just looks like chaos. On the right hand side you'll see dozens or hundreds of plants smothering its host. You can see there are so many berries on this plant, the whole area looks orange. You can see that there's a further invasion going down the hill. You can see these vines are heading down the hill for a further invasion. Whereas on the left hand side you'll see one or two plants in a tree. This is American bittersweet. This appears to be a polite guest on its host. It doesn't appear that it will be smothering this host or pulling the host down. You can see a twinge of orange at the top for the berries, and this does not look like chaos. So just to recap, American bittersweet on the left looks like it's a polite guest on its host, whereas Oriental bittersweet looks like a mass of chaos on its way to overtake other things. The second characteristic between the American bittersweet and the Oriental bittersweet are the what I call vine cozy flowers. Vine cozy flowers are those flowers that are cozying up to the vine. You'll see on the right hand side Oriental bittersweet. The flowers are in the leaf axils, which are right on the vine, and you can see the yellow arrows pointing to those flowers. On the left hand side you'll see American bittersweet, where the flowers look almost as if they are in a bouquet, and they are on stems which are on the vine. So the American bittersweet are not considered vine cozy, whereas the Oriental bittersweet are. Vine cozy flowers lead to vine cozy berries, and you will see on the right hand side the Oriental bittersweet has the fruit which is very, very close to the vine. You can see that the fruit on the right hand side is somewhat smaller than the fruit on the left hand side, and the fruit on the left hand side is of American bittersweet. You can see that the fruit on the left hand side is kind of bunched up. As remember the flowers were in bouquets? Well, these fruits are kind of bunched up, whereas the fruit on the right is somewhat broadcast right along the vine. You can see on the right hand side that the capsules around some of the fruits are yellow, and only Oriental bittersweet has yellow capsules. The capsules around the American bittersweet will be red or orange. And a quick way to remember which one is the alarming one is that you should yell if you see yellow capsules, but that orange capsules are okay. On this slide you can see that for the emerging leaves there is a difference between the American bittersweet and Oriental bittersweet. In the spring, the American Bittersweet's emerging leaves unfurl while the Oriental Bittersweet leaf edges are flat. In the little picture at the top, you can see that the rolled edges of the American Bittersweet are rolled inward, so the leaf edges are actually pointing to the center of the leaf. On the larger picture, you can see the Oriental Bittersweet leaf edges are already pointing out away from the plant. And this visual indicator may be difficult as the timing needs to be right and the leaf needs to be low to the ground to be observable. Leaves are useful when identifying other look-alike vines, and these include the Virginia creeper and woodbine, which have 5 leaflets per leaf. So while they both grow up trees, you'll see that they have not a single leaf but 5 leaflets. On the right-hand side, you'll see bittersweet, and because we see no flowers or berries or chaos, we don't know whether this is a American bittersweet or an Oriental bittersweet, but we can tell the difference between Virginia creeper and woodbine and a bittersweet. The next vine is riverbank grape, and again the leaves are distinctly different. The riverbank grape leaves look like they are hand-shaped. They have many large teeth, and whereas on the right-hand side the bittersweet have smaller, rounder leaves with much smaller teeth and a single terminal tip. Again, for the bittersweet, we would need to see something else, whether it be flowers along the vine or massive overgrowth or yellow capsules on the vine. Another way to tell in the winter or other times when you can see the bark, a grapevine bark is shaggy and shredded, and the mature Oriental Bittersweet has a bumpy tree-like appearance. It almost looks like the bark of a tree. While an American Bittersweet is not pictured here, a mature American Bittersweet vine would appear smooth and not bumpy and tree-like. Our next and last look-alike species is the Bittersweet Nightshade. On the left-hand side, you'll see Bittersweet Nightshade flowers, which are purple, and fruit, which are red. You can tell on the right-hand side, the Oriental Bittersweet has round fruit and yellow capsules, whereas on the left-hand side, the Bittersweet Nightshade has egg-shaped fruit. On the right-hand side, you can see the vines are woody, whereas on the left-hand side, you can see the vines are green. So that concludes our look-alikes. Please know that heroic action to keep Oriental Bittersweet out of Minnesota involves one of the following. You can use your smartphone and download GLEDN, which is Great Lakes Early Detection Network. Take a photo and just report the location and what the plant looks like to us. And without a smartphone, you can call Arrest the Pest or email us at arrestthepest@state.mn.us. Again, my name is Dawn Littleton. Please contact me at 507-536-6301 or litt0129@umn.edu with any further questions. Thank you.